떠나지 마. 다시 한번 돌아봐. 이렇게 보낼 수 없는 내 Never say goodbye. You make me cry. 기다려 너 하나만.
날 바라보던 너의 그 눈빛 널 놓친 날 정말 stupid. 이미 가슴에 꽂힌 큐pit화살도 뽑아버렸어. 난 정말 바보지. 쓸데없는 자존심 세우다 못해 맘에도 없는 바보 같은 말로 딱 잘라서 너를 보냈어. 이렇게 떠나 하루하루 어쩌나.
아직까지 내겐 이별은 서둘러. 결국 내 입술은 참지 못해 네 이름을 불러.
바보 같은 나 오늘도 숫자를 못 봐.
너무 힘들어. 너도 이런 나와 같다면 돌아와. 제발 나를 잡아줘. 떠나지 마. 다시 한번 돌아봐. 이렇게 보낼 수 없는 내 Never say goodbye. You make me cry. 기다려 너 하나만. You ain't a bad boy but 내겐 천사란 바로 너. 너만이 my B.A.B.Y. 하나 가슴 아픈 B.A.B. cry. 하루 종일 바라보는 전화기. 이런 내 마음을 하늘이 전하길. 아직 이별 앞에 서둘러. Want you back it's time to love.
이렇게 떠나 하루하루 어쩌나.
아직까지 내겐 이별은 서둘러. 결국 내 입술은 참지 못해 네 이름을 불러.
바보 같은 나 오늘도 숫자를 못 봐.
너무 힘들어. 너도 이런 나와 같다면 돌아와. 제발 나를 잡아줘. 떠나지 마. 다시 한번.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is the National ESL Pro Series. I am Rapid. With me is Rheingold River. Tonight we're bringing you a series between Cloud9 going up against Curse Academy. And in that first game, it was so great to see amazing early pressure put on by Dominate in the jungle for Curse Academy. And Mega Zero making some extremely manly teleport ultimates in. The Malphite's unstoppable force just continued to, cascade the success NA Avalanche for Curse Academy, but a great team fights and a really nice defense at Dragon made Cloud9 just, snowball their lead there into Baron and then into a couple of inhibitors off the back of that. We're going into Game 2. Cloud9 have kind of shown their strength, but the struggle here for Curse Academy is real, and I think that they're going to be able to do a really good job at sort of learning from their mistakes in that first game, probably not giving it so easily to Cloud9 this time around.
And we see Zach being banned this time by Curse Academy there, not wanting to give it over to Meteos, and again, 2 nods at Mega Zero with the Riven and the Renekton bans there by Cloud9, not wanting to face the best Riven NA playing Riven. Ryze and Jace also going to be banned out by Curse Academy, and Swain again going to be banned out against Swain Gretzky. So I will again be calling his mid lane champion Swain as opposed to whatever it actually is. But Kha'Zix's going to be the first pick for Cloud9.
Man, that is almost certainly going to be going over to high. His Kha'Zix is pretty devastating. I'm not going to attempt to make the D-man noise when he gets resets, but that is, it's something that he does like to do his fair share of the time. Zach being banned now that Dominate's just like, well, it's cool for that early game pressure, but doesn't really work very well once the team sort of kites away, then you can pop his bloblets a little bit easier. You're going to see some similarities between the last game and this game as far as champion choices are concerned. Last time, Curse Academy said, hey, we're not going to give you Zach, so we're going to pick it. This time around, they're doing the same thing with Ezreal, saying, we saw what you could do with that Ezreal sneaky caster, and we're not going to let that happen a second time around.
Yeah, and Jay's also going to be banned, so he cannot go for that either. And Kennen also going to be stolen away there. So 2 of the picks that were given over to Cloud9 last game will be taken by Curse Academy. And Thresh actually going to be picked up here for Lemon Nation. So he won't be on Sona again, instead going for, I want to say it's the Chain Warden, but this very, very strong support pick. Dark Passage and Death Sentence, both incredibly overpowered skills.
He is the Chain Warden, and well, we saw what Lemonation sort of received at the hands of Thresh, getting first blooded there by a Knight's Death Sentence in game one. This time around, he's going to be dishing it out. One thing, if you have ever played against Lemonation in solo queue, you know he loves to play hook champions, and like on 2 Daydreamin', his sort of counterpart in that regard. But he also plays a few other things like, support Fiddlesticks, support Nasus, and back when he was playing on Orbit with Niantan, so he would just make him rage so hard. And I as much as I love support Nasus, we probably will be seeing that go in the jungle. Meteos, letting us know ahead of time. Not going to be going for like a Hecarim pick because that doesn't really work out. But back on his Nasus, really liked what we saw there. Ball's probably not choosing Teemo, but could look for that Diana or Irelia.
It is going to be Nidalee picks up there by Curse Academy, and I believe we saw an AD Nidalee yesterday in the EPS games. It didn't work out too well, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was going to be an AP Nidalee in the mid lane, Kennen in the top lane, Mega Zero on that champion, and going for a dual AP comp again, something that is just so very strong right now.
Yeah, AD Nidalee is something that we probably won't see a whole lot. That will probably be an AP Nidalee in the mid, and then a Kennen going top lane being played by Mega Zero. It is one of his stronger champions, and if you've watched him do his A to Z marathon on his stream, he definitely knows how to play a fair variety of champions, kind of like the NA SOAS as far as that's concerned. But last couple of picks being locked in there for Cloud9. They go ahead and grab away a Rumble pick along with a Varus. So we're going to get a chance to see Sneaky Castro's Varus. It's not going to be comboed with Sona for one of those sort of OPCC bottom lanes that we're used to seeing. But this time around, going with Thresh still has basically the same idea.
And Fiddlesticks actually going to be locked in there as the jungler for Dominate. So actually going for a triple AP comp, unless it is going to be an AD Nidalee. At the moment, Swain Gretzky is sitting on it, so I doubt it will be AP or AD Nidalee. I've never seen that in the mid lane before, so probably AP Nidalee and a triple AP comp. Very, very squishy, but a lot of AoE from Kennen and Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing to notice here is going to be, the Fiddlesticks choice for Curse Academy, something you don't see a lot more. I mean, Lemonation loves running that as support and actually wound up crushing through many of Quantic's wins when they were with that organization during EPS. Now as Cloud9, they've kind of shied away from their old Fiddlesticks support, especially going up against a team that they actually respect a lot here in Curse Academy. They have a very strong roster, especially with Mega Zero coming in here as their top laner, and I gotta say, I loved what I saw out of them. I mean, everybody watching was just like, oh my goodness, Curse Academy is so strong during the early game. Cloud9 just showing why they are LCS caliber, why you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of them in about a week and a half, and, what we're going to see out of them here today. We're back in the 3-minute spectator delay, so time to take a little bit of a look at their team compositions and see, I don't know, maybe a heads up on what we can expect from this game.
So we actually had, during the select, Lemonation was sitting on Summoner Heal and Atomic N was sitting on Ignite for like 99% of the select. And then at the very last second, Lemonation sort of switching over that Ignite, Atomic N switching over to the Heal. So sort of swapping those Summoner spells, pairing them with the same champions that they had before. But the Summoner Heal, this game not going to be quite so effective because of the Grievous Wounds coming out from Varus' Hail of Arrows. He can definitely land that on both champions should they be in the 2v2. And that Summoner Heal going to be reduced by half in almost all certainty.
Well, the really big deal, the reason Lemonation runs Summoner Heal, and I think he actually mentioned this in one of his LCS interviews, is because when you pick up a Summoner Heal on your champion, it's passive that a lot of people forget about, actually gives you some base HP over time. So, base HP per level, rather. So it actually gives you a ton of value, even if you do get the half healing benefit from that healing reduction. I think the biggest thing to note is that, Sona really squishy early on, so you got to figure out some way to counter that out. I know a lot of supports love to run health runes or health quints on Sona. This time around, it's going to be gold for 10 quints with, some pretty standard armor and armor runes to come out as well. So I think it would have been interesting to talk about the supports if we had seen Lemonation support Fiddlesticks, but as far as last game is concerned, we saw the junglers be so huge. This time around, it's going to be Fiddlesticks in the jungle, very, very sensitive early on, and you can see Dominate actually kind of reacting to that. As far as runes and masteries are concerned, he's going 21-0-9 with 15 ability power and then just straight AP runes and some magic pen. to start things off. So really excited to see not only how the early jungle phase into laning phase works out, we're going to have some pretty massive team fights from both of these teams. And with as good as Cloud9 were at those in the last game, I'm really expecting some great things coming out this time around.
Yeah, definitely expecting to see a lot of level 1 action because Fiddlesticks sort of kind of needs his first blue buff. It's pretty important to his jungle clear to have that extra mana regen and the cooldowns. He needs to be able to just be able to survive, really. And so I definitely am looking forward to seeing a lot of level 1 action coming out from both of these teams. But we are getting to the very end of the delays, so we are going to jump to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Game 2 of Cloud9 versus Curse Academy.
All right, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the National ESL Pro Series. You're just now joining us, then A, you missed an incredible first game of the series, B, go back and watch that, the VODs will be up after the broadcast, and C, we're getting into Game 2. This is going to be Curse Academy, your team in the upper right-hand corner of Summoner's Rift in the red, going up against their opponents. This is going to be Cloud9, a team you're going to be seeing in LCS in just about a week and a half, so keep an eye out for them and watch them here in this game. They're going to be going up against Curse. Now, we saw early game go sizably well for Curse in the first game. How are Cloud9 going to kind of react to that? Maybe play a little bit more safely, maybe even go more aggressive as they look for an early invade to drop a ward.
So Lemon Nation dropping the Baron analog of the Scar Award over the Dragon Pit, going to get another ward over at the Wraiths, this one going safely also. But as you see, Curse Academy have grouped at their blue, and hopefully Lemon Nation not going to walk into the same trap that he walked into last game. Of course, the Thresh is played by him instead of on the other team this game. We'll get a ward into that bush. The Death Sentence did not connect with anyone since everyone from Curse Academy is positioned pretty defensively here, all grouped at this blue buff, just waiting for something to happen.
If you look at the way map control has gone this early on in the game, you can see that 1/4 of the map belongs to Curse, 3/4 of it belong to Cloud9, and they're just going to be basically doing whatever they want. You'll probably see a red steal come out here a little bit early on, but you will see a 2v1 in the top lane being initiated there by Curse Academy. Unless we see them just switch up super crazy or anything, this will be a red steal. Meteos can be able to take that away.
Yeah, and Lemon Nation going for a much safer blue ward this time, not wanting to walk into everyone. It was very smart. You see, Dominate still hasn't scaled a point yet. If he wanted to, he could have scaled the Fear. He still hasn't actually taken a point. He's still able to scale the Fear. Going for the Dark Wind now, but he was just waiting. And actually, the Death Sentence is going to land onto him. A lot of damage on him. He's going to have to smite and actually flash away.
He tried to smite, he got the smite off, but I gotta look at where that blue buff actually wound up going, and I think it's actually, where did that go? I didn't see it.
I'm not sure.
It kind of disappeared there. That's a little bit of a mystery, but I'll keep an eye out for it and we'll see what happened. Actually went on to Swain Gretzky, so getting given that into the top lane, it's slightly interesting, but that's...
The trap! He got it with the trap. Yeah, he had put a trap down at the blue buff, and the damage over time ended up taking that one away. So I don't imagine that was intentional. But Nidalee being given over the first blue buff is going to be very difficult for Balls, but Fiddlesticks not getting the first blue buff is going to be even worse for Dominate.
How do you even plan for that? I mean, both of these teams, they scrim a lot of the LCS teams, non-LCS teams. I doubt they've ever had that happen before, but like we saw in the first game, it's mid versus the AD carry, as we're going to have that dual lane mid once again here for Curse Academy. They're kind of doing the same thing that they saw last time around, putting a very poke-heavy dual lane versus that early game for Kha'Zix, which is definitely not what he's used to. Mega Zero in the bottom lane, though, getting jumped on. It looks like that will be first blood being taken down. Varus picking that up, and a great job kind of going for not necessarily a dive, but positioning very aggressively behind the turret, and then Sneaky Caster and Elimination able to take down the kill. There's going to be a lot of damage down to the bottom turret, and it would be a lot of damage down to the mid, but it looks like with the Wither going down.
Exhausted going down there onto him. And he's actually going to have to flash out. Altec also trying to get out. Will Meteos be able to pick it up? That is going to be the red buff picking up the kill. Atomic and flashing there. Power Chord barely not enough damage. And Meteos now getting the Wither Gem onto Atomic, and double kill coming down for him.
Meteos, man, off to an extremely good start. This is sort of his revenge for the early part of the game. Top lane, a lot of damage onto Balls. He's going to take a spear. Will be able to scrap shield that one away. Man, so much early aggression here. Already 3-0. All of that aggression going the way of Cloud9.
And they were also able to pick up the outer bot turret. So definitely a lot of early gold going to them, and it's bringing them up to about a 2k gold lead here.
2,000 gold advantage at the 4.5 minute mark. That is fairly sizable. I would go as far to venture. So we're gonna take a look at how that's really going to affect them. You can see, as far as itemization is concerned, probably not that big a difference immediately, but that's really going to make a difference as the early lanes sort of coalesce. I think the biggest thing to watch out for is going to be that middle lane. You can see duo lane has swapped in there for Cloud9. Should be able to get a little bit more things done than that 2v1.
A lot of poke there onto Atomic, and from Sneaky Caster, Elimination providing the shield. In top lane though, Swing Grexy actually is out of mana. His blue buff did expire. Balls forcing the barrier and the flash out, going to eat a spear to the face, seeing him very, very low. He will be able to survive for just a little bit longer, but forcing Swing Grexy out of lane.
Now, keep in mind, Cloud9, they're up one game, but this is a lot on the line for them. If they manage to lose the next two, they will have faced their first defeat of EPS, and, well, right now, they're the only team since Team Dignitas to ever go undefeated. Middle lane, a nice death sentence, almost lands, but unfortunately, will just mean that Cloud9, once again, able to push Altec and Atomic N out of lane.
Yeah, Atomic N taken so low right now. He actually got early boosts just to try and dodge some of the skill shots coming out of both Elimination and Sneaky Castro. So no additional health on him. He's going to be very, very far away from that sight zone or the field zone that he really wants to tribute to. Wither going down, High going to jump down, and that is going to be Meteos picking up the third kill of the game for him, the fourth for his team.
Just going in, very, very simple gang strategy out there. It's just dominate. You can see that High able to telegraph that. He's like, hey, he's playing super aggressively. Middle lane, the aggression go down onto Sona, so low HP, and still at the turret with no summoners left available. They're going to go for a secondary dive. Top lane, Swing Gretzky this time, the victim at the turret.
Yeah, so just so much aggression from Cloud9. They look so strong this game. And it just, you know, they're just saying to the world, hey, last game was a fluke. You need to get first blood onto our support at blue buff, or we're just going to roll through your team right now. 4k gold lead, Arcane Shift will dodge that death sentence, but a lot of damage onto this mid turret, a lot of damage on the top turret. High and Meteos definitely going to be able to take that out. 2 turrets of the game, in addition to a 6k gold lead for Cloud9. They're looking so good right now.
6-0 with a 2-turret advantage. Things just really slipping away from Curse Academy right here. And going into, I mean, we're still at the 7-minute mark, and they're almost doubling them up in gold. You can see Dominate, he's just trying to take down his Raze, trying to be as strong as he can in the jungle. They're just getting completely smashed.
High leaping in there, and it's going to be Nasus taking the kill. And now the dive onto Atomic, and great death sentence there. Varus now on the killing spree. Sneaky Castro getting very, very scary. Meteos getting a little bit chased down by Altec there. Actually, the Arcane Shift forward will dodge that Q. High has very little mana, but he is still a very scary Kha'Zix, and he is isolated. The exhaust goes down. Altec is the one running that summoner spell this game, and that is going to be High picking up another kill.
Turning things around front, left, and center. Is it right, left, and center? I'm not entirely sure. 9-0 start. It doesn't get much more one-sided from this. And actually in the chat, we're going to see GG's called out already. Looks like Curse Academy are looking for a little bit of an early win, or an early way out of this series. And we will actually go ahead and end the game here. It looks like we're going to end without a results, except that Well, we actually kind of did end with the result, and as we go ahead and quit on out of this, it will be an 8-minute victory for Cloud9, as Curse Academy, man, not really wanting to stick around for any more of that.
Yeah, so such good early control here from Cloud9, and Curse Academy just saying, you know what, you guys win, GG, and so GG's going down an alt chat, everyone going to leave that game.
Yeah, well, apparently losing was an option for Curse Academy as they do that extremely quickly there in that game. Their struggle was a little bit too real, and, well, I gotta say, Cloud9 proved to be pretty fierce competition. And even though, you know, the EPS may be bigger than just these two games, Cloud9 still on their way to making history as only the second team to go entirely undefeated during the regular season as far as ESL Pro Series is concerned. I mean, Cloud9, they live together, they play together, and I gotta say, this is a pretty big deal to them. Not necessarily just winning EPS, but going into LCS. I mean, that's their dream. That's basically everything to them. And I gotta say, looking forward to seeing a little bit more of Cloud9 Velocity Esports as newcomers to LCS. Be seeing both of those teams actually face off against one another tomorrow in, well, tomorrow's games for the ESL Pro Series. So it's going to be a little bit of a mini LCS because you will see that exact same matchup in the coming week. So definitely keep it tuned here to NESL TV, and I hope you guys enjoy the broadcast for tonight. Make sure to like and, well, I guess, follow the stream. It's a little follow button located in the bottom left-hand corner right below your viewing port, and it's going to let you know when we go live with all sorts of games like unto the ones that you have just witnessed. Now, granted, most of them last slightly longer than 8 minutes, but tomorrow we'll see some great games. Velocity Esports going up against Cloud9, and then coming up next week, we actually have the final playoff bracket here for $15,000. As far as the total prize pool is concerned. So I do want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll go ahead and throw a link to the Reddit thread in the Twitch chat right now. So feel free to discuss well, some of the things that you saw here today and maybe, I don't know, have a few subtle anecdotes, as it were, as the games progress. You can also follow us all on Twitter. It's at ESL. For myself, it's at Rapid Casting. For my wonderful co-caster, Rheingold River, it's, well, at Rheingold River, so it doesn't get much more easier. I can, in fact, speak English, I promise. Much easier than that. You can also find all the links in that Reddit thread, as well as links to all of the pages and sites, Twitters, everything for the teams that you just saw here today. So, once again, without further ado, on behalf of myself, Rheingold River, and all the staff here at the National ESL, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
달라.胸がドキドキで君